That's what happened to me. I was living in a middle-class family in upstate Illinois. And although my parents were struggling, they provided what we needed. They didn't provide all that much, but they provided what we needed. We were comfortable. We had 2 brothers. Of course, we were always fighting because that's the American way. But, I was happy just playing baseball in the empty lots, and playing football, and playing soccer, and watching television, and eating what I like to eat, and hanging out with my friends. But then something happened. I became a teenager. And suddenly, just playing in the empty lots wasn't enough. There were other things going on. And this was the 1960s, when there was a war, and there was a draft, and there was serious civil rights issues. And there just seemed to be so much hypocrisy on so many levels. Gandhi said, try to be the change you want to see in the world. Try to be the change that you want to see in others. I was beginning to realize I didn't have that much control over what was going on. I was just a little guy. But I did have some control over what I was going to do. And changing the world begins with that, what we could do to ourselves. And little by little, I began to believe that this change that I wanted to find was spiritual. But I didn't want it to be sectarian, because I saw that in the name of spirituality, instead of loving each other, people were hating each other. Instead of developing forgiveness, which is what I find in every religion I was studying, people were holding grudges for generations and generations. Instead of learning to love our neighbor as ourselves and every living being as our neighbor, people were hating each other in the name of God. I was starting to realize that religion or spirituality or yoga is something very divine that's meant to heal, meant to transform. But as I was doing my traveling and searching, I found that if you have a humble heart and if you respect other living beings, then the real message purifies you. But if you're too egoistic, then what happens is that message just becomes fuel for your ego. Religion can give absolute dimensions to your hatred and your arrogance. And you can justify anything on the basis of that. Hating and killing and war. The same thing that's meant to heal could exasperate the disease unless we have the right consciousness. So this is one of my first discoveries when I turned to the spiritual path.